Hey gentlemen, ladies, and fellow non-binary daisies, it's me, Antonio, just here to give an obligatory warning. Due to the usual subject matter of the PSAs the NSPCC talks about being child abuse, my typical viewer discretion applies to this video. While I will include timestamps to skip especially triggering PSAs, I'd highly recommend you skip this countdown if child abuse is a triggering subject. Don't worry, I won't be mad. I completely understand. My viewers' well-being is quite important to me. Back once again, sheepherd. Now, you'd think a 140-year-old charity like the NSPCC would have more than a few bad ads, but no, as a matter of fact, almost all of this British child protection charity's PSAs are amazing, which isn't easy to do given their PSA's usual subject matter. And today, we're going to be looking at 20 of the best in my opinion. That's right, for the first time in the history of the Countdown series, these PSAs won't be ranked in terms of horror or how terrible they are. They'll be ranked in terms of how great they are. Roll the intro.
Rest like the soul of a diamond. Rest like a woman in a field of wheat. Rest and she'll come home to you. She'll come home to you. Rest like the soulful light of Mercury. Rest like your hunger is the victory. It's a long and laughing day. It's a long and laughing day. I'll wait for you to come home. Playing deep within your eyes. Sleeping deep, it feels so real.
One day, Alex and Sam were mucking around on their phones.
Why don't we take a selfie? Yeah.
Then Sam had an idea.
I'll take a picture.
What if they sent a picture of Alex's willy to their friend Katie? You know, the kind that disappears in a few seconds.
Send.
When Katie saw it, she thought it was very funny. So she screen grabbed the picture and sent it to her friends. And they sent it to theirs. And the next day at school,
Newsflash! The world sees Alex's willy.
Alex even got a message from a bully. He then got one from a man he didn't know. Sometimes children share things they shouldn't online. And the effects can be devastating. Help keep your child safe. Search Share Aware.
Don't get me wrong, I consider this the NSPCC's worst PSA of all time, but it is still a guilty pleasure and a favorite of mine due to how fucking stupid it is. I mean, it has a decent message, that message being to be careful what you share online, especially something like a picture of your privates, since you never know whose hands said picture could get into, but its execution is very unintentionally funny due to how unrealistic the events that happen in it are. Nobody except a fucking nonce would loudly proclaim they saw a child's dick, for one, and for two, in real life, as TV tropes stated, Alex would be considered the victim of a horrible crime, and Sam would be charged with the world's biggest instance of the distribution of child pornography.
It's 5 o'clock! You will wake up! Make me breakfast! I want something else! Pay me attention! Read me this story! Who said you could sleep? I want
Walter. I've had enough!
While not as stupid as I Saw Your Willy, up until the end, this is still a pretty silly PSA. I don't know if it's just me, but the juxtaposition of this tough drill sergeant and the childish demands he's making always manage to crack me up. Granted, it's loads better than I Saw Your Willy, since, yeah, a little kid actually would push you to your limit if given enough time, so points for realism, and the screaming mom is quite jarring, but otherwise this PSA is pretty narmy. Oh goody, this is a whimsical PIF, innit, bruv? Surely nothing bad happens. Oh, never mind. Wait, we both saw the same thing. This certainly throws a spanner in the works for the skit. Anyways, well, that took a dark turn from the playful bit of click magic we saw. Brilliant. Simply brilliant. Okay, enough with that shitty British accent. That skit went on way too fucking long. You can't say I don't try with my commentary. Anyways, that ending of the PSA is indeed quite heartbreaking, seeing how, unlike with us, she can't change her circumstances with a click. She is getting wrongfully beaten no matter what.
Child abuse is never this obvious. You must call us.
The unmatched fight of the century. An opponent even Glass Joe could beat. Dad versus son. I pray for those that bet money on the son. All jokes aside, this PSA is incredibly unnerving, both because of the drone of dread and because of what is implied when we hear the bell ring for the boxing match to start. It's really fucked up that this is how some people think it's an appropriate way to deal with their anger.
If you know a baby who is suffering from neglect, please don't neglect to tell us.
Such a simplistic PSA, yet it still makes my skin crawl with its implications. It's just one shot, that being a milk bottle time-lapsing, and as the PSA goes on, this poor neglected baby continues to cry to no avail as the milk intended to nourish it spoils and just becomes basically nothing. Ew, just fucking ew. This PSA is certainly not for those with a weak stomach, I assure you that much.
Shaking a baby can cause brain damage. Before you cross that line, stop. Full stop.
This is one of the NSPCC's most intense PSAs in my opinion, since, well, every sound effect aside from the narration is rather loud, and the mother, while not shown to do so, well, we know what she was about to do in her anger. And well, after all is said and done, that baby is gonna have their brains scrambled like an egg with how angry their mother is. Jesus fuck.
Who can tell me? Hands up. 9 times 8. Sally, do you know the answer? Shush.
Do you want to come by my house after school?
Nah.
Sally, you're not eating again. What's wrong?
I'm fine. Can I go now?
Thousands of children desperately need someone to turn to. Call now and help us be there for them.
Jesus, this puppet girl is creepy. But honestly, I find the way the puppeteer leans into the puppet to speak in her place to be even creepier, considering it's supposed to mirror the threats of further abuse that abused children are scared of speaking out against their abusers because of. This PSA is one that never fails to send chills down my spine, even if that deadpan no does often get a giggle out of me.
Rabbits are scary. They're like, and it's like they're looking for people to eat, and I don't really like it. Are pigs are pankies and boy pigs? I was 6 on the 50th of November. Do babies' mummies teach them how to laugh, or do they know already? My nana's skin doesn't really fit her face. I can't help getting hurt. I'm too big for my boots. Darling's having a bunker. Have another bunker, Mummy. You like it. I don't have a bedtime because my mum doesn't get back till really late. Have another bunker. Shut it! You're doing my head in. I'm warning you. Can I go to your house? Why? Because I don't want to go back to my house. I'm a mistake. So was my fault. Daddy banged my eyes on the floor. I'm a little cow. I'm a little cow. I'm a little cow. It's a secret I'm not allowed to tell.
I talked about this PSA before in my top 75 scariest PSAs countdown, and it's one of the NSPCC's best exercises in fridge horror, and one of the best exercises of fridge horror in a PSA in general. The way it goes from kids saying normally strange kid stuff to dropping hints about abuse is quite saddening, especially when you hear a little girl call herself a mistake and say everything's always her fault, ever so innocently. These kids don't understand that this isn't normal for a kid to have to deal with, and it's quite jarring to hear how they've been verbally and physically abused and hear them talk about it so nonchalantly.
If you've been sexually abused, you don't have to hide it anymore. When you're ready, speak confidentially to someone who understands.
Everything about this PSA is so fucking unsettling. From the masks with the plastered-on grins, to the general ambiance of this PSA, to the reveal of what these creepy-ass masks symbolize. Unsurprisingly, due to the uncanny valley appearance of these masks, the ad was pulled, but I must say, it's quite an interesting metaphor for the front these violated children put up. A metaphor that will give me nightmares tonight, no doubt about it, but still an interesting metaphor.
This is the child alone. This is the child no one comes to collect. This is the child who can't talk to others. This is the child who's never been seen in clean clothes. This is the child who no one wants to sit next to. This is the forgotten, the neglected child. The NSPCC helps thousands every year. Thousands more need our help. And yours.
This is the oldest NSPCC PSA I could find, and all I can say is, Jesus, the NSPCC really didn't mess around back in the day. It really doesn't skimp on how neglect can ruin a child, especially when we see how used to this fate this little boy has grown. Quite an effective appeal for being so cut and dry.
Where have you been? Where have you been? It's not the right one. I'll do what wants first. You're not holding on that one. No way.
She'll be fine. Let's just go. Just come to the car. No. Oh, God. Oh, I can take it. Just come in.
If you're worried about a child, talk to someone. You could help stop abuse.
Well, I could easily make a joke about this being a trailer for one of those AI-generated Disney movie posters, But that was so last year anyways, so I'm not gonna do that. Truth be told, this weird chibi Pixar animation style just adds to the creepiness of this PSA. But surprisingly, despite the abuse these kids face, with the glass smashing and the girl getting slapped being particularly loud for some reason, the bubbles protecting them from facing it any further is surprisingly wholesome.
Speak roughly to your little boy and beat him when he sneezes. He only does it to annoy, 'cause he knows it teases. Speak roughly to the little toy.
It's boy, not toy.
Boy, if he does it when he knows it teases.
No, you've got it wrong.
Speak roughly to the little boy and beat him every day.
No, I said you've got it wrong. Wrong.
A break the cycle type PSA, one of my favorite types of PSAs, if I'm being honest. It's not the only abuse PSA with this premise, far from it actually, but this is one of the better ways I've seen it done. I guess on the bright side he's somewhat improved from how his shitty father raised him, because instead of locking his daughter in a closet, which was done to him, he chooses to give her a tongue lashing instead, but even then, it's clear that his trauma has made him an extremely angry and volatile person. Seriously, if you're a parent, keep this in mind. Your children will, to an extent, raise their children the same way you raised them. It's up to you to raise them to be good people, let alone parents.
Sarah? You asleep? Sarah? Hi.
Every month, we need to raise £7 million from fundraising and monthly donations. However you choose to give, together, we will make child abuse stop. Full stop.
A PSA that makes no sense out of context, but is quite creepy in context. But hey, we see something not too common in these types of PSAs, a nonce getting what they deserve. In this case, being trampled by a terrifying rabbit and other fun runners before he can do some sick shit to his own daughter as an air horn blaze. I love to see it, aside from that fucking rabbit. Jesus, that thing could make carpet sample's fursuit look tame. Okay, maybe nothing could fucking make that thing tame, considering the horrors of that thing's creation, but you get what I mean. I've never been a fan of jump scares, this one included. Mostly because if I don't see it coming, it's really fucking easy to scare the shit out of me with one. But I can't deny that this PSA is one where it's done well, considering what the trapped child represents. I can only imagine the content the sick fuck who owns this laptop has. Though I'm not sure if this PSA is targeting those would-be nonces curious about online child porn, or those who possibly know someone who is in possession of this sick shit.
Childhood has changed. Kids are online, connected to each other all the time. They live exciting lives, funny lives, LOL and OMG lives. And that's all fun. Until it's not. The filters and emojis, they hide a lot. But no matter what's changed, when a child is in need, when they're scared or alone or struggling to breathe, they can always turn to Childline at the NSPCC. Because when childhood changed, so did we. Our online counsellors are there for children 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Help save a child's life in real life.
As a kid who grew up online and often used it as an escape from both my loneliness and the bullying I went through due to how socially awkward I was, this PSA really speaks to me. As exciting as one's internet life can be, it can only help you hide and cope with so much in the life that really matters, the one in the real world, even more so when you're a kid. Because of this, because kids aren't meant to handle this heavy stuff on their own, these counselors are their last hope to hang on to their sanity. They're absolutely a necessary service, and I can attest to, having chatted with counselors and therapists about, the shit I was going through, and it helped. It fucking did. I wouldn't be here if I hadn't sought out help, so yeah, it doesn't matter what day and age you're in, people will always need help. And if you don't take anything else away from my commentary and this PSA, don't be afraid to seek out help if you need it.
What's this? Hey, you had a hard day, have you? Hey, you've been sitting here all day watching telly? Who's touched my videos? I said, who's messed up my videos? Don't just sit there when I'm talking to you. Get out! Start bucking your ideas up, son. Okay, I'm telling you. Now, what the hell are you up to? Look at the state of this place. Hey, look at the state of it. Look at it. Ow! What did I tell you about running indoors? Eh? What did I tell you? Where are you? Here you are. What are you up to? Oh, no. I just asked you what you're up to. Do this! You dirty bastard! Get out! Gas it, get going, you fucking run! Get out of here!
This is one of the NSPCC's most recognized PSAs, and for good reason. It's a very creative mix of live action and animation shown to demonstrate the father's abusive behavior towards his son, which would otherwise be incredibly morbid if it were entirely live action, considering it's played for laughs. Also, This was another one of the only 3 PSAs I've ever heard use the word fuck or some variation uncensored, which is quite interesting. Anyways, it's an iconic PSA with an extremely shocking twist. What else is there really to say about it that I haven't already said? Or others haven't already said?
Why don't you just shut it? But enough. Shut up, I'm going out. I don't want to calm down. I don't want to hear what your mum said, alright? It is your fault. It's your fault? What do you mean the baby? What's not good for me? That's not good for me. Is that upsetting him? Come on, I'll ask you a question. Answer me, come on. You've got a mouth, haven't you? Answer me. The baby, alright, the baby. I've heard enough about the baby. Sick of hearing about the baby. Stay away, please. Stay away.
Now this is certainly quite the example of the uncanny valley. Personally, what makes this PSA so creepy and actually quite impactful, being one of my favorites, is the implications that this violence is all this child came to know after they were born. Yes, the music is eerie, the fetus is incredibly uncanny, and the fighting is shocking, but this PSA is made all the more horrifying with the implications I just mentioned. Also, quite unusual for the NSPCC to make a domestic violence PSA. Normally they advocate against violence towards children once they're already born.
It's here where 1 in 10 of all killings take place. There are 1 to 2 deaths every week. In a year, there are over 5,000 beatings and over 1,700 sexual assaults, including rape and buggery.
If you're a fan of minimalist horror like me, this PSA is perfect for you. No frills, no gory shots, just stone-cold dry narration that has the feel of A Dark Winter Night by the late, great Alan Rickman. Never has a crib looked so menacing as it has in this PSA, but it's been the center of some egregious crimes against the people who reside in them, the littlest among us. Fucking horrific. But so well done.
Shut up! I'm gonna smash your face against that cot if you don't shut your screaming no!
Come and sit over here.
You're brainless, you're stupid, you're no child of mine!
Mummy, where are you? I don't like being on my own.
Not a word to anyone. This is going to be our little secret.
Sometimes we can't bear to look either, but cruelty to children can be stopped, and with your help, it can be stopped forever. Please support the NSPCC's new Full Stop campaign.
Yes. The PSA that started the NSPCC's Full Stop campaign, which is one of my favorite PSA campaigns of all time. And this was certainly one hell of a PSA to start off the campaign with. Any form of abuse you could direct towards a child was most likely depicted in the audio here. Verbal abuse? Check. Physical abuse? Check. Neglect? Check. Sexual abuse? Check, in 2 instances no less. And all to make the point that no matter how much you want to look away, that won't change the fact that ignoring it will not stop this vile treatment of children from happening. There's a reason this is easily the NSPCC's most controversial PSA, gaining 150 complaints, 76 of them from abuse survivors, no less. But it's an incredible way to start off a great campaign.
The little girl, she said to me, what are these things that I can see? Each night when I come home from school, when mama calls me in for tea. Oh, every night a baby dies, and every night her mama cries. What makes those men do what they do to make that person black and blue? Grandpa says they're happy now. They sit with God in paradise with angels' wings, and still somehow it makes me feel like ice. Tell me there's a heaven. Tell me that it's true. Tell me there's a reason why I'm seeing what I do. Tell me there's a heaven where all those people go. Tell me they're all happy now. Papa, tell me that it's so.
Chris Ray's Tell Me There's a Heaven is already a song that drives me to tears, and it's part of why this PSA is so impactful in my opinion. This PSA would be depressing enough with its juxtaposition of smiling children and the horrible things they're revealed to have gone through. But Chris Ray's song, where he's trying to maintain his faith that there is indeed a better place for those that are the unfortunate victims of the worst kinds, makes this PSA almost impossible to watch without bursting into tears. Hell, just talking about it, you can tell, like, I'm not faking this at all. My voice was starting to break. They're kids. They didn't deserve any of this horrible treatment. It's horrible that anyone could do this to their own child. But as depressing as it is by far the NSPCC's best PSA in my opinion. And that, ladies, gentlemen, and fellow non-binary daisies, is the end of another video. I've been on fire this month and intend to burn through all of January like a fucking inferno. Just you watch. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, leave a comment, subscribe, and if you've done all those things, Join my Discord server, link in the video and description. If you've done all these things, y'all have a great day. Antonio out. Peace.